Alright guys, well, I've been promising a video, so I wanted to show you guys my reloading room. I am a brand new reloader, of course. This was my son's old room. Yeah, the paint looks pretty bad. I'll get to that sooner or later. Over here, we'll start out with my little work desk. I needed somewhere to not only be able to do the reloading, but also to work on the different firearms. So we set this up over here. It's just an old desk that my wife used to do nails with. So I got some Harbor Freight stuff over here, man. I'm one of those guys who believes that there's certain things from Harbor Freight that you can buy that you just can't go wrong with. But so I repurposed an old shelf that I had, and that's where I keep all my liquids. Different cleaners and degreasers and some lanolin lube up there. I know some people will think that I kind of went overboard as a brand new reloader, but I had the opportunity to make the purchases, so I went ahead and did it. Of course, here is the breech lock Challenger press, and I purchased that with the kit. Excuse me. So it came with the little scale over here, and I just recently bought a digital scale. It came with the powder drop, the Lee Perfect powder measure, and it also came with one of the value quick trims, but I also just went ahead and bought this guy here to be able to chalk up in my drill. And I bought a couple extra bushings to go along with it. Of course, you can see another Harbor Freight item. And I'm using it to store pretty much anything that I need to have in reach. Definitely got some inline fabrication stuff. I have their 7.5 inch quick change ultra mount and the flush ultra mount, which, as you can see, this is an old hard table and I really didn't want to route it out, so I just went ahead and bought the little plate that you put it on top of so you can raise it up without having to route it. And then of course here's the Lee Loadmaster. I don't plan on using this press anytime soon. When I load my very first rounds, all of that's going to be done on this guy. And I want to do some load workups where I figure out what's going to shoot best for my AR and my son's, and then my 300 Blackout that we have. So I really don't plan on coming up with a whole bunch of different load data and a whole bunch of different rounds and different things like that. I'm going to find what works for the two AR-15s and what works for the 300 Blackout, and I'll probably stick with that. So I did buy the small base dies from RCBS, and I have my Lee dies. I have the 300 Blackout, as well as what came with the Loadmaster for the 223. The 300 Blackout die from Lee, the decapping pin, it had a shoulder on it, and it was really tearing up the little pieces of brass that I was putting in it. So that's why I ended up buying the small base die for 300 Blackout, because I didn't know honestly what to do being brand new. And then I saw some videos, and some of you guys mentioned it on the Reloaders Network to polish them, and I did that, and it did get rid of the shoulder without changing the dimensions of the decapping pin itself. So also another little Harbor Freight saw back here, and as you can see, I have these 1/4 inch bolts that are sticking out of it, and these 1/4 inch bolts will actually fit into the quick change plates. So I did that with my Perfect powder measure on a 2x4, and also my my little Lyman case prep care kit. I love inline fabrication stuff, and I think it's well worth the money that you spend on it. But of course, the more money you spend, the more expensive it gets, and you know, there's other ways to skin a cat, I guess you could say. So another thing I bought from my Lee Loadmaster is this. And if you ever get a chance, check out Mike's Reloading Bench on YouTube and also his website. He sells these for the Lee Loadmaster. And everyone that I've spoke to and everyone that I've seen review it, I mean, they just say you can't go wrong with it, and they wish they would have had it years ago. And this is actually a turret head that he makes, and it's a billet turret head, and it helps as far as if you're having trouble with overall lengths and things like that. So yeah, I know I spent a lot of money to start out, but I figure if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it right. So here's the very first rounds that I am going to do. These are some Hornady 150 grain 308, and then I have some Hornady 75 grain boat tail hollow point, as well as some Hornady 73 grain ELD match. So the plan is to work up 5 loads of these, 5 loads of these, 5 loads of these, and I am going to keep it light. That way, I don't want to get myself in trouble. Let's just put it that way. So, and I got some Remington 7.5 inch primers, which I'm going to use. So, and then this came with the Lee breech lock kit, and it's Lee's new Auto Prime, and I actually like it. I think it's gonna work really well. It seems like it's pretty easy to operate. I know a lot of people complain about these triangles, so I'll let you know how that works out. Also, in here, I plan to add a bunch of more shelves. Of course, you can see I keep all my boxes. I kept receipts for everything. Another thing is in this box here, I keep all of my instructions for every piece of my equipment, including, oh yeah, and the Harbor Freight ultrasonic cleaner down there. So, I do plan on putting in some more shelves. I don't drink coffee myself, but at the firehouse we buy a lot of these coffee cans, so I take them. If I don't, the only other thing we're going to do is throw them away, and you know, the detergent as well as the cheese balls. So I'll probably have 6 or 7 of those cheese balls containers. Right there, got some 8208 XBR. That's what I plan to load the 5.56 with. And H110 to go along with the 300 Blackout. And also load data. I will be keeping load data. I have it for 223, 5.56, 300 Blackout, and I do plan to load 9mm eventually. I don't have the dies and stuff for that yet, but I will. I also plan to put up a cabinet somewhere here in the reloading room so I can put my powders and primers and stuff under lock and key. I got the Hornady load manual. I'm sure you guys saw that. And my bench. I built the bench out of 2x4s because unfortunately my daughter was in an accident with my truck. It wasn't her fault, but I ended up having to put most of the 2x4s in my little car, and thankfully Lowe's cut them for me, so I was able to get all the pieces in the car. So I just wanted to show you guys the reloading room. I'm not going to do reviews on anything because I really can't do reviews on much because there's not much that I've used so far. Oh, also my digital calipers. And I also plan to get some regular dial calipers just to be able to compare. The same thing like with the beam scale and a digital scale. It's always best to have a backup to double check just to make sure. So, excuse me. Huge shout out to everybody in the Reloaders Network. Huge shout out to Johnny's Reloading Bench, Highboy, Iraq Veteran 88. I mean, there's just on and on and on. There are many people who are willing to share information when it comes to reloading. And the Reloaders Network has been absolutely fabulous. I appreciate the guys there. And I look forward to hopefully many years of reloading conversations and learning. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to see if I can't get some of these rounds loaded up. Y'all have a good night. God bless.